JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 2nd of December 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, the usual quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yeah, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So guys, now, jumping into the charts, quickly mentioning Nikkei 225 continues to trade above this upside support line that I talked about. This one is drawn from the low of the 30th of October. But what I was also saying yesterday, that if we manage to get a push above this 26,834 territory, marked by the high of the 30th of November, then yes, we could consider maybe a move higher, and it did initially move higher. However, it didn't stay, the daily candle didn't stay above it and drifted back down, but remained above this steep upside line. So in other words, guys, for now we're a little bit in a pickle here, because on the one hand, yes, everything's leaning a little bit more towards the upside. On the other, we are quite extended here to the upside, especially in the short run. So of course, probably there are some traders who are hoping maybe to see here a bit of a corrective move. However, we cannot really talk about that correction until we get at least a clear break of this upside line, and then we would see the daily candle staying above, below this area, below this upside line, and then yes, we could go for a bit of a corrective move here, maybe back towards that psychological 26,000 territory, or even below that. But again, at the moment, still everything's kind of a little bit more positive than negative. If you want to aim for some higher levels, well, probably you could. The only thing is that what we don't want to happen here is to get caught out here in this potential. Let's say if we go long right now, then suddenly, let's say, it reverses and corrects lower, which could happen. So that's why I'm probably I'm gonna leave it here for now. I'm gonna just continue observing this one, but once we get a violation of this upside line and we see the daily candle remaining below it, then yes, I will consider maybe a bit of a corrective move lower. Now, Shanghai Composite here, as you can see, the index is still open. It's still trading. If I'm not mistaken, yes, I think that's still trading. So basically, for now, it's a little bit of a tricky one here. Basically, yes, I mean, we got another test of this upper bound of this range that I talked about previously. Yeah, but for now, it did get another hold up here. Oh, sorry, I do apologize. The Shanghai Composite is not open, and yep, it's closed now. So, and to be honest, let me just bear with me one moment, guys. I think the economic calendar shows that China will be closed for a while. I think let me double check this very quickly. Today, well, today it was open, but tomorrow No, tomorrow is also open, so yeah, it's all fine. But nevertheless, coming back to the technical picture here on Shanghai Composite, the index managed to test the upper bound of the range here again. It did actually also manage to overshoot it a little bit, but you can see that it struggled to kind of stay above it, so that kind of raises concerns a little bit. And also looking at Nikkei, that Nikkei also did push higher, did go for a higher high, but it still ended up kind of drifting back down. However, remained fractionally in the positive territory, but the Shanghai Composite did close in the red. So this kind of, like I said, raises concerns. We'll of course keep an eye on the European and US equity markets, because if those suddenly start reversing south, well, I mean, guess what? The cash indices of Nikkei and Shanghai Composite could start drifting lower as well, and we might get ourselves a lower a lower open tomorrow. But if we still see strength in the European equities, in the US equities, then yep, prepare yourselves that we could be probably getting a nice opening gap here to the upside, and tomorrow morning on the Shanghai Composite, and yep, and basically then we could see a further continuation higher. So long story short, guys, we need to see a nice good close above this upper bound of the range here in order to aim for some higher levels. At the moment, we're not really getting that, so again, we'll be very careful, and we're not really targeting the downside yet, because as I mentioned to you guys previously, I would prefer to wait for a drop below this 21-day EMA and then consider maybe a bit of a move lower. But at the moment, we're not really getting that as well. So again, we're stuck a little bit here, but of course we're a little bit more, we're cautiously bullish on this one. But again, we need that confirmation break and confirmation close above this 3,457 territory. Now looking at the German DAX here, and here also it's a bit of a tricky situation. So of course the index yesterday remained in the positive territory. However, it's still struggling with this 13,460 zone, which is the highest point of September. This is the barrier that I'm keeping an eye on, and I need to see a nice good clear break above it. I would also like to see a daily close above it as well, so just to kind of strengthen that upside scenario. But at the moment, we're not really getting that. And if we look at the cash index and where it's currently trading at, we can see that the price is currently sitting just fractionally above the 13,360 zone. So basically it's still above this hurdle right here, the one that I talked about, the 13,347, but it's below yesterday's close. So it's a bit of an interesting one here. Also, what I'm being very careful here about is a potential kind of, let's say, because the fact that we could open lower here, it could be an interesting one here, because maybe we could see ourselves maybe possible island reversal here, a pattern. However, again, that don't focus on this too much yet. Let's see how this is going to play out. Let's see how today's candle is going to shape up, and if it drifts lower, then well, maybe we could be seeing this as a nice kind of island reversal here, and a bit of a decline could be possible. But at the moment, we cannot really talk about that until as long as the price remains above this 13,347 territory, and especially if it climbs above this 13,460 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. DXY, beautiful move lower. It drifted further below this 91.75 territory. I talked about this, and what I was also saying that if the index remains below this area, then there is a good chance for this one to drift further south, where my next target, let me just scroll back into history here a little bit, where my next target is the 90.93 level, and that is marked by the highest point of March sorry, not the actually I think it's, yeah, that's the highest point of March 2018, guys. That's the level that I'm going to be aiming for initially, and then I'll take it from there, because at the moment yes, there is a good chance for this one to drift lower, but of course we take everything step by step, just in case somehow the market sentiment changes suddenly. So if we see equities suddenly reversing sharply south, then well, the US dollar could reverse sharply to the upside, because as we know, lately the US dollar has been acting as a safe haven currency, and together with the Swiss franc and the Japanese yen. Yeah, of course, like I said, we'll pick up from there. But at the moment, everything's looking a little bit more bearish than bullish. If by any chance the price travels back above the 91.75 territory right here, then yes, we will consider maybe a move higher. But at the moment, and the upside seems to be slightly off the table. Of course, the weaker dollar is helping boost gold here, the price of gold, and yep, it moved higher. But this is this is what I was saying yesterday, guys, if you remember. Basically what I was saying, that yes, we might see a bit of a correction here to the upside, either to this 200-day EMA or even towards this this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 9th of November. But at the moment, you can see that the downside line continues to provide good resistance. Let's see if it can still do that. But if the dollar index starts drifting to the downside, further to the downside, then well, expect gold to push higher too, or not too, but push higher. The level that I'm keeping an eye on here is, as I mentioned yesterday, is the 1818 level. So if we see the daily candle remaining above that area, then there is a good chance for this commodity to drift further north. But at the moment, I'm being very careful. If the price suddenly drops back below the 200-day EMA and below this 1795 territory, then well, I mean, I'll aim for the downside again. WTI Oil, so working out perfectly. So as you remember, I've talked about this steep upside line which got violated, but what I was also saying, if you remember, that even if we do see a break of that steep upside line, which was drawn earlier here, I removed it already. So still the commodity could drift lower, but if it finds good support near the highest point of August, which is around the 43.75 territory, then we could see a nice rebound here and a push higher back towards the highest point of November near the 46.24 level. So at the moment, I'm keeping a close eye on this because, well, I mean, at the moment, yes, that's everything's kind of working out nicely here. Let's see if this area continues to provide support. If it does, then yep, a nice rebound here could be possible. If it starts breaking below it, then I'll take a bit of a neutral stand, because for me to consider the downside, I would need to see maybe a drop somewhere below the 43 mark. At the same time, it depends how this is going to behave, but maybe we'll have the 21-day EMA also approaching that level and basically kind of strengthening this potential idea of a possible support. But if that gets broken, then yes, it could strengthen the idea of a further decline. So yep, that's why be very careful for now, guys. Yes, my first hurdle that I'm keeping an eye on is the 43.75. If it continues to provide support, then yes, a rebound here could be possible. Bitcoin, jumping into cryptos. So Bitcoin yesterday created a new all-time high according to this chart. Of course, this is taken by the chart is here is taken is the Bitfinex pricing. Sometimes, as you know, the different providers have different pricing, but let me just jump into a monthly chart. So you can see that, yep, yesterday we've hit still fractionally above this, the highest point of December of 2017, the all-time high, the previous all-time high now, and the crypto, yep, tested the area around the 19,956 mark. So it didn't really quite reach that psychological 20,000. But now it's yep, it hit that area slightly above the previous all-time high, and then As you can see, it drifted back down, sold off. It's trying to climb higher again here, but yeah, at the moment it's a bit of a tricky one here for Bitcoin, because it's currently getting a hold up near this key area of resistance. Previously it was seen as a resistance, then it would kind of got violated here, but now you can see that it's acting as a good resistance again. The 18,945 level, which marks the high of the 21st of November, the high of the 26th of November. And now, yep, today it's getting a hold up here again. So the crypto is getting a hold up near that area again. So let's see how this is going to play out. However, for now, to be honest, I'm kind of in a way, I'm kind of considering this little idea here, where we could, if this barrier, the 18,945 continues to provide resistance, then we might see a bit of a slide here towards this 21-day EMA, or even towards this upside support line taken from the low, the 19th of October, and then we'll take it from there, guys, because at the moment it's a little bit tricky. We did hit a new all-time high, we did get that retracement straight away. So yeah, that's why it's I'm a little bit skeptical with a further move higher. If you want to aim for some, if let's say it does travel higher, well, to be honest, now I would need to see another push above the 19,891 territory right here in order to aim for some higher levels. Until then, I'm kind of taking a bit of a neutral stand on this one. AUDJPY. So now, I kept talking about this pair, and this is just a quick update. Basically, the pair is pushing higher. However, as I said before, if you remember, I need to see a push above the 77.10 zone, and also I would like to see that daily candle remaining above it, above this hurdle, and then we could get a little bit more excited with the upside. So for now, that's all eyes are on that level. Currently, the pair is approaching it and flirting with it, so let's see how this day is going to shape up. Now, in terms of the downside, I would prefer to maybe see a drop below the 76.50 territory. And of course, at the same time, we'll have already a break of the steep upside line, but also a drop below the 76.50 zone could do the trick for more sellers. And at the same time, maybe the rate would be placed below the 21-day EMA. But at the moment, the downside seems to be slightly off the table. Now, jumping into USDJPY, actually, similar story here. Now, as you remember, I mean, I was telling you about the DXY. DXY is on the weaker side. The dollar is on the weaker side. But however, the Japanese yen is still weaker than the dollar. So that's why AUDJPY could actually has a good potential to drift higher here, because Australian dollar is stronger than the US dollar right now. And if you see that if the US dollar is still stronger than the Japanese yen, then well, it seems that most likely that AUDJPY shouldn't have a problem overcoming this barrier. But again, a bit of theory here. Let's see in practice if that happens. For now, looking at the USDJPY, we had a beautiful rebound from this upside support line taken from the low, the 9th of November. So now the big question here is, can it actually travel further north? I mean, on the good side is the fact that we are now trading above this 21-day EMA shown as the yellow line, and if the daily candle today remains above this area, above this 21-day EMA, then of course higher levels could be met. We could go for that test of this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 24th of November. So all eyes are on this one, guys. And in terms of the downside, well, I would need to see, of course, previously I talked about that 104 zone, but maybe just to be a little bit on the safe side, I would like to see a drop below the 103.84 territory, somewhere around here, and then aim for some lower areas. But for now, I'm kind of a little bit more positive than negative on this pair. But my next target is the 104.95 zone or this downside line. USDCHF, totally different story here. I mean, again, with the USDJPY, I know it could be contradicting here a little bit, but it seems that the Swiss franc is on the stronger side right now. You can see clearly here we are testing this key support zone, which is the lowest point of November, at around 0.8983 territory. But in order to aim for some lower areas, we still need to see a drop below this hurdle. Now, Previously, if you remember, when we were still hanging above this 0.1993 territory, I talked about that. If we get a break, then my next target is this 0.9030 territory. But if that gets broken, my next target is the lowest point of November here near the 0.8983, which we've managed to reach perfectly. That's it in a way. Now the big question here is, can we drift further south? For that, we would need to see a nice good drop below this 0.8983 zone. The only little issue that I have here right now with this pair is the fact that basically we could maybe see a bit of a rebound here again, and eventually kind of form a possible descending triangle, which of course according to all the TA rules tends to break to the downside. But yeah, again, that just could be one of the ideas, but still the main point will be to focus on this hurdle, the 0.8983. If we get a nice break below it, then yes, further declines are possible. Quick update on USD CAD, similar story. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because again, it's a similar situation. We need to see a drop below this 1.20. Let me just lift this a little bit. 1.2928 level here, which is the lowest point of November, in order to aim for some further declines. At the moment, it seems that there is a chance for that, but at the moment this level is providing very good support. So if we get a break below that, yep, aim for some lower areas. But if we see the daily candle remaining below that area as well, then well, further declines are possible. GBPUSD. So here the pair pushed above the 1.34 territory and remained above it. So yesterday during my traders tea time, if you remember, we were actually back to this hurdle, and I was saying that I'm going to take a bit of a neutral stand, and I did. I mean, that's absolutely fine, because for me the positivity could was on a break of this 1.34 territory. So we got that. That's great. Now I'm going to be aiming for this highest point of September, the 1.3483, and then I'll take it from there. EURUSD, now look at this beautiful move here, and this is what I talked about yesterday, guys. Yesterday I've mentioned this pair, and I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this level right here, the there we go. So the 125.16 zone, and what I was saying, that if we get a nice strong move above it, then it increases the chances for the next move towards the 126.43 territory, which, as you can see, it's now in a way is on track of reaching that area. That's the highest point of September here. So actually, let me just double check. No, sorry, that's not the high. The high of the 10th of September. The highest point of September is the 127.07 level. But another thing that I mentioned was that basically this could be seen. Could have been seen as an inverse head and shoulders pattern, with the neckline being here. And look at this beautiful move here. Everything kind of worked out nicely. So for now, guys, yes, we are aiming for higher levels. My next target is the 126.46 level, and then I'll take it from there, because we might get a little hold up here somewhere, maybe even a small little retracement back down, and then another push higher, because ultimately the main target will be the highest point of September near the 127.07 level. And finally, EURUSD, beautiful move to the upside. We've managed to overcome that 1.2011 territory. We also managed to hit that 1.2055 zone. I talked about that, and most importantly, we also managed to stay above that area. So that's in a way a lot of positivity here for this pair. And my next target is the 1.2155 territory right here, marked by the inside swing, or should I say I think the lowest point of March. Yep, that's correct. That's the lowest point of March of 2018, guys. That previous area of support could now become a very important area of resistance. The 1.2155, that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye on. So let's see how this is going to play out. But at the moment, everything's kind of leaning a little bit more towards the upside. So guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. If you want to catch my video later on, my traders tea time is always 14:15 GMT. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.